Oh, hey, dreamer.
Assume position.
Assume position and go. I'll say one thing. Today is definitely an ice balls kind of day.
Ice balls. Ice
Ice
balls.
balls. Ice balls.
Shaking up the ice
Little ice
ball.
ball ASMR for you.
Love it. I missed ice balls.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
definitely an ice balls kind of day.
welcome back, ice balls.
Welcome back. Welcome back, ice balls. And what's that mug you got there?
Oh, I
Oh,
don't know.
I don't know. Just,
Dream the dream. Two bad broads. I love it. It's
come
go
on.
time. When I see this mug, I'm like, it's go
It's
time.
go time.
Go time.
Available now at a merch store near you.
Yeah, seriously.
Link below. Get with it. So we're here. We're laughing. I had another night. We're still in the hospital. Probably next couple of days.
Yeah,
So, life is lifing. And you had some wonderful family moments this weekend.
that's right.
Yay.
That's
Cup
right. Celebrating Bella's 21st birthday.
cup filler moments. And what a
Oh,
milestone for you. How do you feel?
it's wild because I still feel the same mostly that I did when I brought her into this world. So I'm sort of like 21 years. Like and she's this young woman out in the world. And it's a whole nother transition of what parenting looks like.
Hmm.
You know, right when you get in the rhythm and you're like, I got this, I got this, or sometimes I never feel like I got it. And I'm just like, I'm gonna keep going. And
Hmm.
then like there's a moment where it just clicks and it's like, okay, it's different now. And
Yes.
that's what it feels like. Like, how do I still show up to support her and be her parent? Because I'm always going to be her parent, and also give her the space to have experiences and live her life and figure out who she's becoming. And it's like this delicate dance where you don't want to overstep, but you want to be so present. That's where I'm at.
Thank you.
That little
Beautiful.
thing.
Yeah, just a little bit, just little tiny bits. So, our love to Bella um, on her momentous birthday. And so we got some thoughts today.
Get some coffee talk.
We got some coffee talk and we got some coffee thoughts. Um,
You ready?
it's in there. Um, I have some thoughts of something I want to share, but before that, I feel like we need
What we need? What we
like a
need?
moment, like a moment of movement.
Like, what? Where are we at? Where do you like how I'm always ready to go? Like,
For anything, for anything. This is something I will share with you guys why I have my drum here. I will share with you because I haven't told you.
yeah.
So yesterday, was it yesterday? The day before. I don't know when. I sat here and I was like kind of like comatose.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting here and I was like, this is just feeling like stuck. And obviously I'm tired and all that stuff. So I'm giving myself grace for that. And at the same time, I knew I gotta like get, get some movement.
Yeah.
So I had my drum over there and I hadn't touched it in a while. So I was like, all right. And so I just sat here and I banged the shit up of the stuff so hard for like 10 minutes.
Yes.
Not even. It was like 5 minutes. I was like, bah, 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 bah. But just like, sometimes rhythmic and sometimes just like boom, boom, boom. And then afterwards, I was like, haha, let's get it. Oh boy. And I was like, wow, that really worked.
Yeah.
So hello,
Just beating your drum over there.
just,
I love it.
little things.
Yeah. That's beautiful. There it was, looking at you. Like,
Hmm.
hey, I'm here. I'm available to move some energy.
Yes. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to keep you right here, ready to go. And then I wrote also.
Yeah. Things.
move some things. Because I've been feeling quite oversaturated, and that shift helped me. It was
Mhm.
oversaturated also because I felt like I was in a taking in a lot of information, uh, important information, nonsense information, all sorts of information. But it was like the space of my own inner just quiet felt like it was just super crowded. And I wasn't quite sure how to break that.
Yeah.
I was like under a spell, and it felt ugh,
Yeah, that makes
like
sense.
like I had to wring myself out. And then I now I feel okay. And then noticing, oh, how do I curate a little bit more what I allow in, you know?
Yes.
Because those moments of like the spaciousness in between the moments I treasure so much,
Mhm.
but definitely there's like a coping mechanism there that I'll like, try to fill the space with something.
Yeah.
And when I get into those, it's like little crunchy pockets of time where I can feel myself going in there and just going like, oh wait.
Hold
And I
on.
have a feeling a lot of us out there experience this
Without a doubt.
similar
Yeah,
things. Like,
without a doubt. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of noise.
mm-hmm. So shall we talk about our mini
Let's
movements?
go.
Let's go.
It's go time.
How do you define a mini movement?
It's a movement so tiny, so mini size that it's impossible not to do, period.
Right.
I was going to over explain it and I stopped myself.
So mini movements were born in one of our episodes where we were talking about current climate and the desire that a lot of us have the desire that a lot of us have
Mhm.
to do something,
Yeah.
you know, and that is something that I want to honor in myself. I want to honor in you. I want to honor in all of us that are like in that space.
Mhm.
And I know we feel really called to like almost like facilitate the, you
The
know,
movement
the
of the movement.
movement of the movement. Hold on. Are we laxatives?
I mean, call us what you
Co-
will.
the coffee will move. The coffee will move it. We can be your laxative for your emotions and your mini movement.
We can be the laxative of your emotions. I think that's the this
That's
podcast title,
that
actually.
is the title of the podcast. And this idea we were talking about this morning of making your mark, which need I say more?
Mm-mm.
Listen,
Yeah.
there is nothing like a good bowel movement.
Hey, I'm into it.
A good bowel movement
A healthy poop.
when you're sitting there and you're like, wow, that's worthy of a celebration.
There's nowhere we won't go. I
No,
just
there's
know. So just if you're listening, just get out of your system.
yeah.
Pun intended. Like
Just let it flow.
let it
Just
flow.
just let the laxative do its thing. Trust the
Yeah.
process.
Yes. Let us in.
You've already taken it, so now you can't go back. You're already here. Just got to work through you. So, just like a bowel movement that feels like, okay, well, the mini movements are basically the teeny tiny little pocket sized uh and it's not like a lot of mini movements. It's like one mini movement that you potentially do, over and over.
For sure.
Um, but that it's something that we are identifying intuitively, creatively, passionately,
Hmm.
that we feels good and aligned to make our mark on the world in our life. And I know the women I've had the pleasure of working with, same for you. These are all people that in some way come with this idea of like, I want to make my mark on the world. So I
Okay.
know when I say that,
Mhm.
it's not like reaching far.
Mm-mm. No.
I know who our people are
Yeah.
because they're you and me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel, because sometimes I feel like, oh, I say stuff. If we say stuff like that, does it feel too? Does it create pressure? Does it cause pressure if somebody's like, oh, well, damn, I gotta do something?
Right,
And
right.
so sometimes I hold it back, but then does it? Then what?
Yeah. I'm trusting that someone listening is hearing this and they're going to craft a mini movement that makes sense for them. Like the mini movement is not about like replicating what we're up to. It's about getting curious about where you, dear listener, where you can shift and invite some mini movements in. So maybe a mini movement is around yourself or around your family or community. Like it doesn't, that's the beauty of mini movements. It's not attached to anything. It's whatever you want it to be, wherever you want to focus your energy. So I'm going to trust that the listeners are open to that. And so they're not in a space of it's got to look a certain way.
Yes,
We'll trust it.
we're gonna trust it, and
Yeah.
because the idea of making your mark and feeling that sense of purpose, which we know is a big word, but just the idea that you are moving through the world with a sense of like, I belong here, and so I am a source of good. I'm a source of peace. I'm a source of joy. I'm a source of comfort. I'm a source of courage,
Yeah.
which to me feels like a really beautiful question to sort of first like open up is what do I want to be a source of? Like
Mhm.
if I ask you, Sage, what do you want to be a source of?
I mean, I feel like a source of movement. I mean, that's always been
Mhm.
movement.
That's your thing. Yeah. You're
It's
the
been my
you're the
word for
OG
a long time.
laxative.
Yes. Always looking for a new title. Um, I mean, I love movement because it keeps me present, it keeps me connected, it keeps me present and connected. I mean, really, like it's that simple. And so I am an advocate for movement, and I'm
Yeah.
so unattached to what it looks like, but movement.
Yeah. And if I was would I want to be a source of, I immediately also think about my word of the year, which is
Mhm.
whimsical. So, oh, I somehow that word came into my ether because it means something for me this year. And so I want to be a source of whimsy, which is translated into laughter, joy, not taking yourself too seriously, even when things are effing serious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, my life has a lot of heavy things. And somehow through growth and stretching and, both crying and laughing and all the things at the same time, I'm in a space where, wow, I want to be a source of that. So that's another clue, I think, if you're listening, if you have a word of the year,
Mhm.
awesome. And if you don't have the word of the year, then just think about sort of a word that you feel encompasses how you want to move in the world at this time during
Yeah.
this season of your life. Uh Simple. And then from there, okay, well, I want to be a source, then this idea of making a mark. And I wanted to bring in the idea of this one thing I heard once upon a time, which is a lot of artists, teachers and guides and mentors, and you guys will say things like, when you're faced with a blank canvas and you know you want to start something but you have no idea where to begin, to just make a mark,
Yeah.
like literally grab a brush with a color and just make a mark. Same if you're like going into a journal, automatic like intuitive writing, anything. It's like you just and you told me the story about, do you want
Mhm.
to, can you tell a story? You can, of course you can tell a story.
I tell a story. I tell
Yeah,
a story and
it's
people.
so good.
Yeah, I have this amazing, beautiful, dear client. who was feeling in a place of stuckness so deeply that she was like, I can't even create a word, not one word. I've got to focus. I know what I get to write, but I can't even get one word out. And so, look, I also take a stand for possibility. Like, there's always space to create some kind of movement. And so I was like, well, what if you took your finger and you just started moving it up and down on the keyboard? And it sounds like nonsense, but it's movement. And after we were in a co-working session, she wrote like over 800 words. And it was just that initial moving, like literally moving her finger, her hand into it created a flow. And that is a beautiful example of the mini movement is so ridiculously small, it's impossible not to do.
Yeah. And the mini movement will be like the first crack open. It will then create momentum and it will begin to show you and give you that little hit of like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I
I
can do this.
I can do this. And when you were talking, when you were saying that, I felt like, oh my God, like even my system felt like a sense of ease.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go back to like I thought about constipation, emotional constipation, creative like
Yeah.
can you, as you're listening to these words that we are sharing, can you feel if you in your body you have any kind of constipation? Physically feel it. Your womb space, your stomach, your throat, your
Mm-hmm.
head, like your brain,
Yes,
your
yeah.
hands, your heart,
Mm-hmm.
the back of your heart.
Yeah.
Just take a moment to be like, oh, because chances are we're all constipated in some way.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of movement is that we're just going to keep it flowing and that we're casting off the idea of perfection completely to the side.
Yeah.
It plays no part here.
Mm-mm.
And we instead shift into a place of just like curiosity and just whatever.
Yeah.
And you see, this is where I'm like, okay, this conversation is, I, I, I feel really strongly about it, especially now, especially when we are walking around in this world where it feels like the walls are kind of like squeezing us in. And we can also kind of get out of that mindset because you cannot be squeezed in. Your soul, your heart,
Yeah.
your passion, nobody can ever take that away from you, your values, your and the way you can make a mark in the world.
Yeah.
And heroes and heroines are made through gritty quests.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Yeah.
getting the feels?
Girl, I'm in the feels. I'm getting them
I
all.
love you.
I'm like, I'm feeling it.
Are you off a clipped?
I'm buckle up.
So for me, I've always been like, girl, you too. This is why you and I are like mirrors on opposite sides of the United States, literally diagonal. Like look at Miami and look at where what is it? I thought always think Wisteria, but no, it's
Oh, I like that. It's Centralia.
Centralia, which is so cool. Like
Centralia,
it's like a
though.
Wisteria, but Centralia also looks like sounds like a mythical Centralia in Miami. Literally, like
Yeah. I mean, really.
really. And so there's we know there's a reason why we've been brought together on this earth to weave a new story. And part of it is gritty.
It's gritty.
I'm just gonna check my phone real quick to see if my darling. Okay, it's all good.
Mhm.
So, are you ready for me to introduce a segment?
Yes. Oh,
We got props.
oh, I
All right, dear friends. Say just no idea what's coming, but
love
she
it.
trusts me. This is a segment I'd like to call, wait, did he really say that? Why? Why do I bring this? Listen, we don't want to give airtime to foolishness and nonsense. However, I've been thinking about this over the past couple days, and there's certain things that we have to acknowledge and hear and know that are being certain other things that are being like positioned out culturally speaking that have an impact 100%. And I've chosen three statements by three gentlemen who I'm hoping in the best way radicalize us, radicalize us a little bit to want to make your mark because they hit right at the core of who we are. Number one, wait, did he really say that? He said, companies need to be more masculine. I think having a culture that celebrates the aggression a bit more has its own merits. Do you know who said that?
Do not.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, Zuck.
okay. Okay. But wait, did he really say that? I ask everybody around here to wake up terrified every morning through sheets drenched in sweat. But to be very precise about what to be afraid of, they should be afraid of the customers. Do you know who said this?
Ew.
Jeff Bezos, 1999. Zuckerberg, this was 2024. This is 1999. So he asked his employees to wake up terrified, and I quote, every morning through sheets drenched in sweat. And he said this in an interview, all smiles. Last one, the most recent and the most egregious, I think. But wait, did he really say that? The fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy. They are exploiting a bug in Western civilization, which is the empathy response. Do you know who said this?
That stupid orange guy.
No,
Okay.
close. Elon Musk.
Oh,
I didn't pick any of the toxic Cheeto quotes because
I,
no.
yeah, and
However, these three men have a high impact on the
power.
lives we be living.
Yeah.
Okay. We're talking about the very, well, what are the platforms you might be experiencing this on? Okay. The platforms where you communicate, where you connect, where you share your stories, where you share your love, right? Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Hey, hello. All of those are under Meta. We're talking about the company where you're most likely getting the stuff of life. I buy on Amazon every week. I buy medical supplies. I buy stuff that my kid needs for school. I buy stuff for myself. I'm trying to pull back. And I
Yeah.
have made many more conscious choices, but still, it's become a fabric of um, the ease of my life in a lot of ways, especially with how much harder it is for me to get out in the world and do stuff because of caregiving and all that jazz. But what an impact this dude is having on our
Yeah.
collective. And then the last one. He said this on February 28th on the Joe Rogan podcast, which is used to be the most popular podcast. Now it's like third or fourth. But basically, the conversations happening out there and that are getting trickled into the subconscious and the mindset of people, a lot of young people, a lot of young men. These are successful men in the sense of they've built very successful companies. They're very wealthy. You know, they've made an impact, and so people are listening. And I want us to be aware of this shit because this is real.
Yeah.
And I pick these examples because they specifically hate, like, oh, more masculine, more aggressive companies. Do we really think that that's going to work? To ask people to wake up terrified. Holy moly, what does that do to your nervous system? drenched in sweat to go to work, to be afraid of your customer because your customer is the one that's giving you money. And then the fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy. And I
Yeah.
will say that because I was also reading about this a little bit this morning, that the evolutionary advantage speaks more towards empathy than not. Why? Because the way we care for each other and the way we help each other go forward, not just the people that you're connected, because in evolution, the people that you're connected to biologically speaking, obviously there's a big trigger there to like, that's why moms want to really like you would do anything for your child because there is this primal, very primordial need to protect who you are, right? But the fact is that the empathy that we share, specifically with people that are not connected to us, goes far beyond in terms of helping human civilization and evolution move forward than having a non empathetic world. And, we could give examples of simple things like when you have somebody in your life, a neighbor, a friend, a colleague who's going through a really shitty situation, and you offer them to give them the classic, like, bring them a casserole or, whatever that is. Or I was even thinking this morning, when we think about the Holocaust and all the people that went out of their way to save others who were in danger, and they put themselves in danger by either hiding them or forging documents or doing things that would help a fellow person who is not related to them in any way. But because it's what we do.
Mhm.
And so all that like out in the air, we can just leave it there and let it move you.
Mhm.
Let it move your heart, let it move your mind. Let it crack like away the sort of crusties of, well, there's nothing I can do. Can you do something to reinforce empathy in the world, in your world? I'm sure you can come up with at least 10 ways right now that I
Yeah,
can be more empathetic to people.
for sure.
And then that ripples to somebody else being empathetic to somebody else. You know,
Mhm.
whether it's a smile to the stranger that then like lights up their morning and then they go off and smile to three other people and then their morning is like, oh wow, okay. Helping, somebody at the grocery store, helping somebody. What? Oh my God, there's so many things we can do.
Yeah, many movements.
So I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm gonna throw the talking stick over.
Well, I mean, I would say the first thing that I think of when I hear who the men are, and I think about how ingrained I am into Meta and into Amazon, it feels overwhelming. First, is my first transparent feeling of like, fuck, we
Yeah.
have a society that they have done what they intended to do is just swallow everything up so that we can't bypass them. And it sucks. Like it bums me out. And so, but then I allow myself to have my feelings, right? Having my feelings, I'm feeling a little whelm, feeling bummed out. But then I shift into, so what can you do about it?
Mhm.
Like, okay, yeah, it feels icky. And what can I do about it? And I think, well, I can definitely do the empathy piece 100%. Um, but then I think there's spaciousness to have all different levels of impact. And I don't see, here I am wanting to protect the audience, the listeners.
And I love that you said that to because it's exactly how I feel. And I also, it's like, well, everybody's incredibly remarkable and capable and like,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's
but I know
interesting.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, trust me.
I instantly want to go, well, I don't want to say that because then they'll feel overwhelmed or then it'll feel too big. And here I go rescuing people from being uncomfortable. And yet it's going to take us all getting effing uncomfortable to make an impact in this world. and to shift things. And I think that, to me, in my little opinion, whatever it means, is that I think a big issue right now is we're a lot of folks are in a lot of comfort in a variety of ways, and are we willing to get uncomfortable? Um, and so that's why I'm over here like tendon my, but yeah, I'm committed to just saying the things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like, I am really looking at where I spend my money, and I'm looking at alternatives, and I'm looking at what I can let go of, even that I don't want to let go of it. Because when I hear those statements that those men said, like, I am handing them money. Those bozos, I'm handing them my hard earned money. Like, that infuriates me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's sure nice to have Amazon Prime, but fuck that guy. That's how I feel. Like,
Yeah.
I'm making his life super easy, along with the other millions of people investing in Amazon, whatever way they are. And it's like, and I'm gonna bring my party around.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that everybody's situations are different. So I'm just speaking of myself. I'm looking at, well, what could I do? Okay, well, the first thing I can do is like not have Amazon Prime. Like, I'm not going to do Amazon Prime. Like, where can I find other alternatives? Like, I have this wonderful mushroom chai latte that I love, and my local natural food store has it for like $2 more than Amazon. Am I willing to pay the $2 extra to go into a local store?
Yes.
And yes, I am.
And
I
that right there, in a nutshell, is
is
a
a mini
beautiful mini
movement.
movement. Because also, like you said, it's overwhelming because this has been the structure and sort of the fabric of our lives. And it's really hard to also ask of ourselves to just detach completely from all of these things that we've gotten used
Great.
to. Like literally, you and I laugh through WhatsApp all day long, which is owned by one of these bozos. Well, until we have a messenger pigeon fast enough. Oh my God,
What,
why did I lose my camera?
is Cosmo playing with the
Is
wires?
Cosmo playing with the wires? Hold on, hold on. Let me pause it.
We
God,
got Cosmo fired up.
hold on. I know what happened. Yes, Cosmo. She's like, ha, ha, I'm gonna keep her on her toes. So you you took your sweater off.
I was having look, I started getting worked up. So I was
Getting a midlife moment. No, but okay. So in the grand scheme, we're not gonna go all of a sudden like, oh, I'm gonna just not
no,
buy
we can't.
anything from.
Yeah,
But you just identified one little thing
yeah,
that, okay, so $2 extra. Can I do it? Sure.
yeah.
Can I walk into my local store? Yes. And there I build community. I talk to the people. I'm like, so that right there is beautiful in and of itself. To
Yes.
me, it's like, say no more. Those are the tiny little things that hopefully we don't just throw everything out because then our lives are going to become more overwhelmed.
Hmm.
And then we will also become less capable of moving
Yeah.
because then we're going to get into a space of really like fight or flight. Like,
Yeah. And I think that's why the mini movements are so potent, is because we are so woven into these things, whether it's WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram or Amazon. Like, they're so embedded in most people's lives that I definitely don't recommend cold turkeying the things, because
mhm,
it just disrupts all the things
yeah.
within us. And so, while yes, there's a future version of me that would love to not have Amazon Prime,
Mhm.
my first mini movement is going to be, I'm not buying that mushroom chai latte off of Amazon anymore, because I can locate it at my natural food store and they are so delightful.
Yeah.
So I want to say that. I know that I was like in my feelings going, and no more Amazon Prime,
But
but
that's what's real yeah.
it's the mini movements to get there. So maybe it's going, what are all the things that I order from Amazon? Maybe my mini movement is going, where can I get this one thing somewhere else? Um,
Hmm.
I know a lot of times when I order from it, it's because it's shipping to my door the next day. Like
Hmm.
I go to the store, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the convenience piece. And this is what
Yes.
I'm talking about, the willing to get uncomfortable, but we can't strip all our comforts at the same time. So
Right.
it's delicate balance in doing this,
Yeah,
if that's what you're called to do.
absolutely. And just the that having the moment of pause before you order something, which will probably just make us all more conscious of what we're buying. It's certainly been one of the effects it's had on me
Yeah.
is whereas before I would have thought less about spending money on a certain something that maybe wasn't a super priority. Like, oh, it's just I'm like, okay, pause and can I get this someplace else? Or do I actually really need this?
Mhm.
You know, I'll maybe put it on a list somewhere where I'm like, oh, nice to have, and then I might forget about it. Or do I have something else in my life right now that
Yeah.
I could use to replace that feeling of getting that or whatever that was useful for? So it'll, I think, make us just a little bit more conscious. Um,
And that's beautiful
yeah.
to
So go ahead.
sorry. No, I just mean it's beautiful to be connected to how, like, what we give our energy to. Like,
Yes.
do I really need this thing? Um, am I willing to wait 2 days for it? Like, just really that sacred pause, which I know we've brought up in a previous episode, but I think that it's beautiful to just, it's just like working that muscle of connection with yourself, like the choices that you're making, how does it benefit you, where's your energy going, where's your money going. I think it's a very positive thing,
Yeah.
matter what is going on in the world.
I I love that question of where's my energy going because it is such a simple, profound, and whether it's purchasing something, whether it's engaging in any activity, um, because it also helps you again take that pause and just reorient yourself, not
Totally.
do things that are so like automatic.
Yes.
Um, because part of that like automation is what's been built into the system where sort of that the own act of your own intuitive volition and you're like where do I want to put my energy sort of goes out the window because ultimately we're just in this like hamster wheel where
Mm-hmm.
you're going through the motions every day,
Mm-hmm.
wake up, go to sleep, wake up, go to sleep, wake up, go to sleep, and then all we're all, we hear it all the time like, oh, I want to make my mark, I want to feel more at ease, I want to feel more at peace, I want to have time to create, I want to express my voice. That's how many times have I heard incredible people feel, and I was one of them where I just felt like
Oh.
it's still I'm working on that, like the expression of the things that I really truly want to say. And that to me is a whole mini movement in itself. And so the idea of where am I placing my energy and that like the reallocation of those resources because your energy is the most valuable resource. Your attention is actually the most valuable resource in the whole scheme of things is actually your attention, which goes into like, okay, well, what am I consuming? Who am I supporting when I do consume these things?
Exactly.
When I am on these platforms and I am watching things that either inform me, delight me, entertain me, teach me, am I being conscious of the voices that are impacting my life? Because it will only take just a little thing for you to just kind of like it becomes a little tape and then you just keep going about your day and it's now ingrained in there.
Yeah.
And the great thing, even though this is all crazy overwhelming,
Mhm.
is that we are, I think, uniquely positioned to actually play this game in a way that we will come out stronger, more energized, more focused, more intuitive, more creative, because we can say, fuck that shit
Yeah.
and actually decide who am I? Not only in the story of what's happening right now, but in the story of this life, my moment on earth. Who am high.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not until we're up against the wall, metaphorically speaking, that we might be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna start putting my fingers on the keyboard and see what happens. Or I'm just gonna get uncomfortable by walking over there to do that thing and fill in all the blanks. But these are all things that we can absolutely do
Without a doubt.
without a doubt, and that we will become better for.
Yeah. And I'm going to bring back the empathy piece of making decisions on where you put your money, different stores, organizations that discriminate against people that may not be anything like you. Having empathy for others and to take a stand for others by not giving your money to certain spaces, even though those spaces might not be attacking you, but they're attacking other people. And I think that's
Yes.
where empathy plays a role in this as well.
Yes. 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 And so, do you see what I mean? It's like, to me, again, let this be a rally cry that, okay, when you first take it in, you're like, ugh. But
Totally.
newsflash, we're already overwhelmed. So let's just be real. Let's
Yeah.
just, let's call it out. Let's look at the rules of the like the board, like board game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Instead of like doing this and going like, well, you know what? At some point this will all pass. What if it doesn't pass?
Yeah.
Sure, it could pass. Life will still be different afterwards. But guess what? Your life is life and right now. So are you gonna just wait around and see? Because
Mm-hmm.
then the thing that happens is that when you're just like, oh, I'm gonna just wait, the constipation build up
Mm-hmm.
because you are a person of values and conviction and beauty and creativity because you
Mm-hmm.
want to see the world around you flourish
Yeah.
with who you are.
Yeah.
Then that gets squashed. Like, oh, well, it's too much for me to. Then you start with a mini movement of, you know what? Every time I go outside my house, I'm going to smile at least three people, random strangers.
Love it.
And I'm going to say, hi, you look great today. Hi, what a great smile you have.
Yeah.
Hi, look at you being awesome.
Hold the door open for people.
And if that's too much and you're like a reserved person, I get it. Hold the door. Like, I just acknowledging the existence of other people,
It's powerful.
um, gathering whatever resources you can to either send a few things to a local food bank,
Mm-hmm.
send, $10 to a charity that you appreciate. Like, because if we don't move it and don't do it just once,
Mm-mm.
I think that's so important, right?
Yeah. No, because
See,
this,
now I'm like, I don't want to make
I
people
know,
feel uncomfortable,
I
but
know. I'm instantly like, let's protect them. And then another part of me is like, no,
because that's not a movement. That's
it's
just
not
like
a
a little,
movement.
that's just a blip.
It's a band-aid.
So, but
It's a band-aid,
a
bro.
band-aid.
Yeah. And that's the thing that we get to remind ourselves is that the beauty of mini movements, it's sustainable action. And this is a long game that we're playing. And so, how beautiful that you don't have to heal the world overnight. You don't have to fix things in one action. It's merely like, I'm going to go out and be kind. I'm going to be generous in ways I can be generous. I'm going to order my mushroom chai latte somewhere else. Like it's those many movements, but like MA just brilliantly pointed out, it's you got to do it again and again and it becomes just your way, right? It's not a to
Yes.
do. It's like, this is who I am. This is who I be in the world. This is how I show up. This is my mark.
Girl, girl. So we are reconditioning
Mm-hmm.
ourselves and everything. I'm in all the goosies about this. Everything that you might be thinking.
Almost lost us. So got me.
everything that you're thinking, possible mini movement, think about the reason why you may not want to make it. That
Mhm.
right there is a massive growth story
Yeah.
for specifically for you. Like the universe has like a golden platter and says, here, when you think about your mini movement and you think, ooh, no, because fill in the blank, and that right there, my friend,
Is that?
you will soar, right?
Yes.
Let's come up with three examples. Mini movement number one. I
Okay.
want to say more, I want to say hi to more people in my community.
Okay.
Block. I'm too shy for that. They'll think I'm crazy. Uh, any of those things. Golden platter, growth opportunity. You're probably someone who wants to be more social,
Mhm.
and maybe you've been told stories that being social is stupid, wrong, unnecessary. Nobody will care. Oh, well, let me exercise that muscle. Let me get uncomfortable and actually try it out for myself and see what happens. Not
Yeah.
everybody's going to smile back. Not everybody's going to be nice, but I bet you most people, some people might be actually quite shocked, depending on where you live, that you're being like actually like a pleasant human being,
Right.
unfortunately. But try it out. And then you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Because if that's the thing that you're like, oh, wow, that sounds really nice, then you're probably desiring to be much more connected and social,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Or the whole idea of think about a couple people in your life that you could text right now and just say, hey, I'm just thinking about you. I'm sending you love.
Yeah.
Oh, but I haven't talked to them in a long time. Are they going to think it's weird? Chances are the person on the other side is going to be so touched that you thought about them.
Yeah.
And you don't have to start up a whole conversation. You just have to say, hey, I was listening to these two broads this morning talk about constipation and all sorts of random stuff and empathy. And
It was weirdly
it
awesome.
was, and I just, I thought about how long it's been since I connected with you and I just wanted to say hi. All right, I give an example now.
It's over
Talking
to me.
stick.
Hey, you got the talking stick now. Mini movements, giving of time. Um, I have some awesome retired neighbors, and they mention a lot about me coming over, swinging by, and it's always the weirdest times. And I'm always like, oh, I'm so sorry. I got to get on a call or I'm getting in the van to go run an errand. And the other day, I was completely done with my day. This is a very long answer, and I want to apologize, but I'm not. Like, and basically, long story long is that I had this moment of going, you have this, go over there and visit with them. And the woman showed me all her cuttings and her little plants. And, they're just, it was just a beautiful moment. And at the end, they're like, thank you for visiting us. And it was just like, giving of time to other people to support, and it filled up my bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a win-win. It filled up their bucket of having connection and getting to share the little things in their home.
Mm-hmm.
So giving of time and
So what was the stretch for the growth for you, the golden universe platter? Like what did you have? What did you
getting out of scarcity that I
bust
didn't
through?
have enough of time.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that I'm like, I'm in the, I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this. And it's like, you can create 30 minutes, 20
Mhm.
minutes, 15 minutes to go over there. So I got out of my own way by getting out of scarcity.
And the where is my energy going and the value of time of 30 minutes for these lovely neighbors versus 30 minutes that I think I have to like do something with that's productive.
Yeah,
We come across these things all the time.
yeah. I don't have the time. And I didn't miss a beat. There was nothing that dropped in the world that I needed to do. It was like I completed my visit, went home, and it was just like it was not a big deal. And it
Hmm.
was a good reminder for me about how much that is one of my excuses
Yes.
and it doesn't work.
Beautiful.
That was long.
It's great.
Let me tell you a story.
Sorry. So the last one I'll share, let's talk about is using your voice, not
Hmm.
just to go say hi to people,
Hmm.
beautiful, lovely voice,
Yeah.
time, your energy in really being like that empathy, that
Mhm.
connection with the people closest to you.
Yes.
I want to talk about the uncomfortable moment of using your voice to express your values, what is important to you, and whether that is like I was telling Sage before this, it's like you could use your voice uh to speak something positive that you want to see in the world, like big picture, like when it comes to the government, I can think about, oh, calling your local representative, calling a senator, like those kinds of using your voice, which is a stretch, right? And yes, it does make an impact. Uh, or even the talking to just the one person in my life, whatever that conversation looks like, where you get to use your voice. Both feel just as scary.
Yeah.
The intimate one feels even a little bit more scary. So then that puts in perspective the whole idea of, well, okay, where can I start to assert my voice? Because the biggest block we're going to encounter is the one right here. And I'm pointing to my throat, this energy center right here. It's between your heart and your mind. And when this is blocked, there's these two are not connected. So the more we can open up this space, which that's why we talk about the dream journal. That's why we talk about the dream merge journal, not just the, writing about your dreams journal, but the dream merge journal in the
Yeah.
context of this whole thing, creativity, like self-expression, writing, all that stuff, because it moves this right here, which is ultimately what could block the connection between heart and mind,
Hmm.
which has been severed for most of us. So that's a movement. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know.
And
Go ahead.
it's a big one. And so
Big one.
that it's going to be everybody's going to have their own experience, unique experience of that. Our our sort of the invitation is that you use this as an opportunity to go a little bit beyond where you normally feel comfortable with using
Hmm.
your voice. And I've worked with and I've spoken with women across multiple spans of years who have been wanting to say something, create something, make something, build something, do something that still like, you know,
Yeah.
and I like one of my like if I could get on top of a mountain and scream out, one of the absolute crying shames is that there are so many incredible women out there who feel for complete bullshit reasons that we cannot exist in our own bodies, in our own voices, in our own minds, in our own hearts. And watch out because that wants to get squished more and more and more. So, are we going to allow that? If we're the ones that ultimately decide how to use our voices, it's, it's big. And it's also like, well, it's now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have I gone too far?
Never. Never. No. No.
His
No.
liberation's on the other side of all that.
Yep. It's, sometimes I think there's no, like the not using our voice piece, like I understand where it can originate from. I get all of that because me too, everybody else that I know, like,
Mm-hmm.
and
It's real.
I,
It's very
yeah,
real. You're
like,
not making it up. It's
no, no,
not your
no.
fault.
Nope. Nope.
This is real.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And I see where people get so comfortable in hiding behind it that it just becomes the story of like, well, that's just who I am, or that's just how I am. And it's like, that's when you get to separate like your voice and somebody else's voice, your truth and somebody else's truth. And don't allow that to hold you back because that's been your story for so long. Because it is uncomfortable. A lot of people that I talk to don't use their voice because they don't want to deal with the repercussions of the person that they're using their voice with. They don't want to deal with it, like the disappointment or the anger or the sadness or whatever that other person is going to feel. And so again, here comes that rescuing theme and that like walking on eggshells theme of like, I don't want to say what I want to say because then this person will react in this way and I just don't want to deal with it. And I
Mm.
think when you're willing to deal with it in the sense of you're willing for someone else to be in their feelings, whatever those feelings are, by you sharing your truth, that is one step forward and out of the thing that's holding you back. And then you get to do it again and again and again.
Yes.
People get to be in their feelings.
And I have a spicy one for you specifically about that.
Bring it.
Rescuing versus empathy, I think. And this is one of those where great opportunity to use our own intuitive body feeling, like just take a moment and take a breath and go, what does it feel to rescue, right? Versus be empathetic. To me, rescue feels like guilt, feels like sort of a desperation. Like, while empathy feels like love, it feels open. It
Yeah.
feels like a breath, like, oh, wow. It comes from a place of my power, where the idea of like, I got to rescue
Mm-hmm.
comes from a place of feeling bad about somebody, and feeling bad about somebody versus feeling like I can actually contribute to somebody's life are two very different frequencies.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, for
And
sure.
this is a time when we don't get to feel bad about anybody. Everybody's powerful. People are going through like forever. People have gone through such horrific circumstances and hardships and all
Mhm.
across the board, right? And we don't have to feel like it's that whole thing, that whole nuance of I either see them as a victim or I see them as somebody who I can support
Mhm.
from a place of like, okay, I get to lift this person up with whatever resources I can versus like, oh, here, I'm gonna just capture it.
Yeah. It's like trying to fix their problems or fix whatever's going on. And then you get to ask yourself, like, well, why does it make
Yeah.
me uncomfortable that they're in those feelings? Because you get to own your piece in wanting to rescue and fix.
Mhm.
And I think that's a huge piece of it because empathy is putting your hand out and lifting somebody up with love, with some, whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
But the rescuing and the fixing, using air quotes, is more of a keeping somebody small and keeping them down. So are you lifting them up or are you keeping them down?
Mhm.
It's two
Mm.
different energies.
Yes. And the idea of empathy also being, the classic, like putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. You'll never be able to understand their situation, and we shouldn't try to. But can we open up our perspectives, soften our judgment, soften our edges, so that we can understand that we will never know the full picture and the full story of the person sitting
Mhm.
next to us in the bus, next to us in the car at the light, the stoplight. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's living their own experience and their own multiple layers of whatever they're going through. And to not be able to look at each other with a sense of love and openness, of
Mhm.
like just giving each other, we don't have to excuse shitty behavior because I'm also not about that.
Mm-mm.
But let's be open to everybody's circumstance without making so many assumptions
Yeah.
or harsh judgments. Like, that's the other thing that's so valuable about the whole empathy piece. and how we speak to others about it,
Mhm.
our family, our children, that whatever young people we have in our lives that are being formed in this world where they are witnessing certain things that have to do with what power looks like,
Yeah.
where whose hands are holding the power. And so to to open up the spaces where it's like, actually, how do each of us feel about it without taking anything for granted?
Yeah. Yeah. I have a lot of conversations with my kids where my daughter will share an experience she had, and then my son is that's weird. I couldn't imagine that. And it's like, well, you probably couldn't imagine it because this is usually what happens to women
Mhm.
versus what a man would experience, especially I mean, that's a whole nother TED Talks
Mhm.
podcast, but it's nice to be able to have these open conversations together as
Yes.
a family because then he's learning, wow, like I didn't realize that because I'm not having these experiences, and then it's teaching her this piece too. Like we're all getting something out of this conversation. So I think it's really beautiful. And, sometimes there they go wanting to butt heads and I'm like, "Meh, meh, meh. Wait, hold on, like we can talk about this, it
Hmm.
and I think it's healthy, like we get to have more open conversations with the people in our lives, especially like this next generation coming up. And I think a lot of parents, oh God, I'm going to say it, they want to protect their kids from the things happening in the world, and it doesn't work. Okay, I
Hmm.
said it, we can move
Yeah.
on.
You said it. You said it. Hot
That's what I said.
takes. Hot takes. I said what I said. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm glad you did. And we we'll keep reminding each other we can never go too far.
I know, because I'm like, I'm getting the sweaty. Is it nervousness? Is it midlife magical? Is it all the things? Oh, it's real. And
It's real.
but I am committed, both feet in.
Hmm.
I am committed to saying what I got to say, saying what I feel called to say, because
Yeah.
it is coming from this loving, neutral, grounded place. And
Yeah.
that's what I know. It's not reactionary. It's not like I'm saying it just to say it, to fill up space. It's like, I believe that it will touch someone, even if it's that one person that's like, damn, I needed to hear that. Like,
Hmm.
that's what I hold on to. And
Yeah.
I'm in my discomfort, which is an example of we're using our voices,
Yeah.
saying the things, and we're uncomfortable, but
Yes.
we believe in it so much that we're willing to pay that price of discomfort and maybe someone not liking it or being like, who do they think they are? Like, yes, this is a beautiful example. We are in there doing the work with everybody else.
Chef's kiss. Because again, I've had this little thing that I wanted to say for like a few days. And I've gone back and forth and back and forth. And finally this morning I was like, well, this is one of my mini movements. And so I gotta put my money where my mouth, I gotta put my energy where my mouth is, literally, and go, does Sage trust me? Absolutely. Is
100%.
this going to feel like a little bit off different from what we've done before? Yeah, but does it feel really important and actually like it's going to move us in a good direction? I'm saying it out loud because I thought about all those things
Yeah.
and what's the impact it's going to have on somebody else that maybe thinks, oh, but I watch this because I want to get away from all that rhetoric.
Yeah.
But guess what? We're
Sorry.
in the rhetoric. We're in it. So,
Yeah. And I think this era of the dreamers is about all of it. It's touching all of it. It's touching the joy, it's touching the laughter, it's touching the silliness, the seriousness, the what's happening in the world. It's not about avoidance. It's not about band-aids. It's about how are we choosing to navigate in this climate and discussing different examples and different opportunities and being responsible with how you show up and choice. And that to me is what era of
yeah.
the dreamers is.
Yeah. And it will be messy.
Oh yeah.
And I was reminded yesterday because I there's a conversation I want to have with my son's teacher, and there was some like discomfort going on there, let's just say, and something that I want to clear the air with her. And I found myself in this moment of feeling pressure to get the conversation right. And I thought to myself, actually, actually, I may be a wiser lady in my like sort of grand scheme of things. But this is still the first time that I'm mothering a second grader.
Hmm.
Like, this is my first time in this rodeo. And
Yeah.
so, why do I have so much pressure to get this right? And this
Hmm.
is also a younger teacher. She's new, right? So, we both are coming at this from the perspective of probably trying to get it so right because our ego, because we don't want to look silly, because we don't want to look stupid, all that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, we can just come at this and go, at least I'm going to go into it with like, listen, I'm just coming out with whatever what my ultimate intention is. I want to clear the air with you. I want us to be real with each other. I want to have a great relationship. And I'm thinking it could be messy. It'll probably be really beautiful
Hmm.
because I'm choosing from the get-go to let my guard down.
Yeah.
Um, Interestingly, I pulled this is a side quest, but yesterday I pulled a card on this and I
Mhm.
got the Fool. I specifically asked, like, how do I approach this? And I got the Fool card. And I was like, oh, this is just so good. Like,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, I don't have to
Mm-mm.
know all the things. I can go at this and go, listen, this is how I feel about it. Tell me how you feel about it. And that just took the whole pressure off.
Yeah.
So we can take that on, like,
Mhm.
take the Fool card energy with our mini movements. Because it's probably the first time that we've engaged in that, whatever
Yeah.
that energy is, especially if it's something that we know we want to replicate.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's,
that's that.
and that's that. Stay tuned for it.
Ooh,
Oh.
this is good. That was a lot
Mhm.
of good stuff.
Oh yeah. So preview,
Hmm.
Sage and I are going to build an opportunity, a live workshop, creation shop, laboratory of specifically about making your mark
Hmm.
and finding your many movements. So we're going to bring in the tools, the very effective, simple, beautiful tools that Sage and I use all the time ourselves to
Hmm.
break through and crack crack the crusties and move and so more information on that soon. Um Anything else you want to leave us with, dear friend? What words of wisdom? Hold on. I'll drum you off.
Oh, okay. This feels important. Well, do you like how I got my official voice?
Yeah, I do.
Well,
Well,
well, I keep breathing through it all. It's going to be uncomfortable and messy, and keep breathing through it all. And you're going to come out on the other end, and you might have some laughter at the other end, looking back and being like, wow, that's why we laugh so much, because we're all up in the messiness and
the
being
messy mini movements.
the messy mini movement. So keep breathing through it one step at a time. Mini is all about how ridiculously small can it be that it's impossible for you to say no.
And with that, friends, we bid you adieu. Keep breathing, keep laughing. See you next time.
See you later.
Bye.